Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind?
Welcome everyone to another episode of the LanceScurv Show. I want to introduce our powerful brother who talks about the brain, the power of the brain, the power of the heart, our consciousness. Every time I'm on a show, every time I receive email, anytime I speak with people in the street here in the motherland, they talk about how much they love Brother Mike Hamer, Brother Michael Hamer, the Rainbow Warrior. He's here, and this is an opportunity I just could not pass up. Every time you call me, brother, I'm going to get you on the show. If we can't do it, we're going to do it ASAP. How are you doing tonight, brother? And give it to us. I'm going to mute myself and keep the background noise out because I know everybody wants to hear every single syllable that you have to share. Right. Talk to us, brother.
I'm doing well and at my highest vibration and getting even higher every day. I'm so connected. I can hear the voices of the universe. I can hear the voices of nature, the voices of the planet, the voices of the stars, the voices of our ancestors. And we are at a pivotal time of evolution. We are going through a change. Change is here. Like Sam Cooke said, the change gonna come. That change is here right now. So there's a lot of chaos on the planet among the human race. There's a lot of spoiled people walking the planet right now. Everybody wants their way. There's divine vision, unbalanced brain. That's because man and his religion is taking control of people and got them hypnotized. They don't even know it. So me, myself, I left the flock a long time ago, years ago. Once I came to my higher self, I could see the world the way I was supposed to see it. So I left the flock. And what I mean by the flock, we got a lot of people that's like sheep, herd into the churches, herd into the polls. They put their faith in man instead of themselves. So I want to talk about change tonight. I'm going to talk about religion, talk about change, talk about the brain, talk about the children. Because the family is the most important institution there is on this planet. Family first, before there's any other institution. Government, religions, educational system. It was education at home training. So when a child left the village, he knew the stars. And a lot of kids in Africa, they know what every major city around the world, they know the capital of every city when they leave home. That's just how smart we are. The brain is like the black hole, is infinite. There's so much you can put in it and you can retain, because that's why we have a memory. And your brain and your emotions, energy and motion, that's what it is. It's connected to the universe. You got the chemtrails, they got the towers, the G towers. They got all of this polluted air, and global warming, global change come from human activity. But we also got to look at the electrical activity that's going on in people's brains. They say what you put in the universe, you get back. So they let you know we are connected to the universe, the energy forces of the universe. The electromagnetic energy, the electric and the magnetic energy. Because your brain, it put out a lot of electricity, your heart. And your heart is got, 5,000 times, 500 times more magnetic energy than the heart. So your heart frequency is connected to the universe. It's connected to everything. So all this bad energy, this negative energy that we put into the universe is messing up the electrical forces of the planet, nature. That's why the planet, you see the weather is changing and the days are getting hotter. And sometimes it's cold and earthquakes and all these things, because we're so connected. That's why I say I hear the voices of the earth, because the earth is sick right now. Because the people are sick. We're the caretakers of all the animals, the earth and everything. We're supposed to look over them. Because he gave man dominion over everything. That's the black man. Not all men included, but the black man first. Because we had a melanated energy connect us to the stars, to the moon, to the sun, to the earth, because everything has melanin in it. and the power of melanin. We got that melanated truth, the melanated power that can put things in order. That's why we got to look at the family unit and the black woman, because she got to understand her true natural role. It's not to break down her man and put all these bad religions into the children, because that distorts their spiritual energy. We're spiritual people, not religious, because religion is nothing for mind control. And they, Constantine, the Romans, they're the ones that made that Bible, wrote the Bible, and they the ones that gave you that imaginary friend Jesus. And the first ship to leave, take slaves from Africa, was to Portugal, and the name of the ship was Good Ship Jesus. So they took a ship and they put a imaginary friend just to control people. And once they see they use it on their own people, they see they could control people with it. They took it around the world and forced it on people. See, so everything we learned since we've been over here since birth, 95% of it is a lie. Now the ABCs, the alphabets, the count, numbers system, and all of that, we created all of that. Matter of fact, we created everything that everybody on this planet is using today, because we're the original people. So for the original truth, the original people got to come back to the top to deliver it. We might have been oppressed for 400 years, but that truth never left us. We speak it every day, but we just don't hear ourselves. That's why I say get to know ourselves. That's why I talk about your inner self so much. The brain, your heart, that brain and heart connection, it connects you to the universe. It's electrical energy. And your brain, the electricity from your brain send out signals, telepathy. We got telepathy that when you talk about something that either call or show up, that's your telepathy. That's coming from the inside. That's one of your spiritual powers that we have, that we possess. So we got spiritual energy. Our hair and everything is connected to the universe, pick up vibrations. And that's what when they talk about the word, they talk about vibration, because words are vibration. You can either teach your child to be evil, or you can teach your child to be good. Devil-like or God-like. Somebody came up with the word named God, and all it represents is your civilized nature, your higher self. And the devil is your uncivilized nature, your lower self, the reptilian brain. So whatever you put into your children's head, that's what you're going to get. That's why they say you reap what you sow into your children. Because once that lie is sown into the child, or subconscious mind can't distinguish what's right and what's wrong, and they accept it as being the truth. So a lot of people, they're walking around under hypnosis and don't even know it. And the church, you hear more confusion in the churches and the government. There's chaos everywhere, but nobody have no solution. They're talking loud and saying nothing, making all these promises that they can't keep. Like Joe Biden said, he's going to stop racism. But how can he stop it when he's part of it? We the only ones that can stop racism, stop all this evil that's going on the planet. Because it's people's mindset. They walk around on unbalanced brains. You need that balance. Like I tell everybody, your own enemy is between your own two ears, your temple. What you got to do is put your fingers on both sides of your temples, and that's your temple. That's your personal temple. And the God that's in that temple, they say you find God in the temple, they're talking about the pineal gland. Because they see the true world. So your pineal gland in your heart, when you're born into this world, the message of ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge, and everything is already locked up in there. So it needs to be taught into existence, conscious. You got to make a child conscious of it. So if a child want to teach a white woman to teach a child to be racist, it started in the womb. That's why you could have, like I say, that's why you got good and bad on the earth, good and evil. But both of them go hand in hand. The evil is there to teach you a lesson, not to go down this road and not to teach your child it, because you're going to raise an evil child. So you got to take the good with the bad. So it's time for, we've seen the power of hate, now it's time to see the power of love, the love vibration. And that's the fifth dimension, the heart vibration. Like I said before, your heart and your brain is full of electromagnetic energy, as so above as below. That phrase can mean a lot of things, but it's talking about energy. That's all it's talking about. Because you receive energy from the earth and energy from above, the electromagnetic energy, and it flow through your body. So that energy has to flow to your body evenly. And if you look at your endocrine system, your your gland system, that's your Kundalini system, chakra system. The Kundalini energy is built off the feminine energy, and it's there for fight or flight. Um, like I said before, like if a woman or car following a child, she could use that Kundalini energy to lift the car up, and that's what it's there for. It's for survival. Oh, I ran that dog. I don't know where I got the energy from because that Kundalini. You indoctrinate. You got the pioneer, the pituitary gland send a signal to your adrenaline gland, and that's when the devil in you got to be controlled. It's energy. But if you talk to be evil, you don't use that energy against people to either kill or be killed because you're in a fear state of mind. Everybody think the enemy is on the outside, but it's in you. And the enemy that everybody is fighting is, like I say, between your own two ears. It's the truth and the lie. That's what you fight. See, because the truth is already in your DNA and in your pineal gland when you come into the world. That's the God gland. The little G. It's already there. So it's up to us to change the ways of how we teach our children. We got to go back to the way nature and the way the universe planned it. Because we're supposed to prepare our children to be able to cope with the universe when they leave home, to know the stars, know the moon, know all of this. Because the Bible and all this is based on astrology first. Because the laws of Moai, that's the laws of the universe. And that's for everybody. And that law is already written in everybody's heart. I don't care if you're black, white, or this for everybody because of the mitochondrial gene and the black woman, once she gave birth to all the nations of people on this planet, they took that seed with them. The blueprint is still in them. Nah, that's why you got so many people. They spoiled because we live in a materialistic world right now. See, we done strayed so far away from the laws of nature and the laws of the universe that we can't even get along with each other because we got misdirected eyes because of religion. And that's what they want you to do. The truth is right in front of people, but they can't see it because they're oppressed. They've been raised by a lie. They can see the lie and believe the lie when they hear it. But when you tell them the truth, they can't see it until they get upset and see for themselves. But they don't know they've been lied to because they've been programmed to believe that lie. So that's their battle. Once they hear the truth, that's your own personal battle. Some people gonna get it right off the back, some people not. Some people gonna try to hold on to the lie, but if you try to hold on to the lie, now you're accountable. It's gonna either heal or kill. It's just that powerful. And the truth is different when it comes from us, the original people. Because we got the authority to tell all other people. See, we just been bamboozled. They took our history away, our cultures and everything. And they took it from us. And they using it. And they feeding it back to us like they invented everything. So we tell ourselves every day that we invented everything and they take it from us and use it. So they let you know your brain is second to nobody's on this planet. That's why they copy off us. They do everything we do. And all of the time, you got black people, so-called leaders in politics, in the movie, and entertainment stuff. But guess what? I'm not mad at them, but they're not going to deliver a message like we deliver it, because it always comes from the bottom to the top. That's why I say the truth is in the hood. The wise man got the power, not the rich man. So while they trying to hold on to their money, we rising up. Evolution is pushing us back to the top, and there's nothing they can do about it. All we had to do is conform to it and wake up and liberate each other. Individual liberation leads to mass liberation. Mass liberation leads to world liberation. So we're the leaders of that new world, the new world order. We got to put ourselves in order, break the chains off the brain that they forced on us during slavery. And there's a lot of people walk around like zombies, the walking dead, and they don't even know it. Got their heads up in the clouds and stuff, but they don't even know it. But they sense things. Everybody says it's changing. It's getting hotter. It's cold one day, hot one day. The earthquakes. Just look at the weather. But look at the time, how the days are going by fast. Everybody senses it, but they can't pinpoint what's going on. So your instincts are there. They telling you what's happening. But you don't have the knowledge. And can nobody go outside the knowledge, no man or woman. If you don't have a true knowledge of what's going on, you just go by every day and wait on the weatherman to tell you this going to happen or predict the weather. When all the time you got a system that could already do it. You think the animals could do it? Can do it and we can't? No. Our brain study every animal, everything, plant animals, everything in the universe on the planet. The animals can't do that. They can't study each other. They can't build like we build. They can't build airplanes and stuff, but we copied off the animals. We learn from them because the study of psychology is the study of animal and human behavior. So the animals could teach you a whole lot about us because we so connected to everything. See, the white people, since when they was cut off in the ice age of Europe, that's where they got their attitude from. They got caught in that lower vibration, and nature put them that way. So once they released them on the earth, they've been going around. Every time they see, everywhere they went, they saw black people that looked like them. They killed them. They took everybody. They love to glorify the mass murderers, just like St. Patrick. St. Patrick, they just passed, and everybody, oh, wear green and all that. They talk about the leprechaun. But if you do your history, they say you'll find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that has nothing to do with it. But the leprechauns, if you ever heard of the Twa people, they're some of the original people that were on the planet. The Twa people and the Watusi. They was originated from Central Africa. One comes from the
Joining me
plains,
via
the other one
Skype,
comes
I've got
from
LanceScurv, a blogger, radio host,
Pygmies.
friend.
So the Pygmies, they migrated to Ireland. A whole lot of other places, China, a whole lot of other places. That's why you see short people. So that's where they got the idea from the leprechaun from the Twa people, because they say they were magical because they were shoemakers. They knew how to make so much everything. And the white people, they didn't know it. So they learned from them, and after they learned from them, they killed them off. And this was St. Patrick. They put him in there so he could come and kill all the people, send them into genocide, and so they could force their religion and plant the seeds of their religion, their Jesus, on everybody else. So they wiped them out. So that's where they get the concept of the leprechaun. And he also killed the snake people. He called them snake people because they had snakes in their head. And some white people, they were worshiping Egypt, and they killed them too. So they glorified their mass murderers. Christopher Columbus, I can name a whole lot of Leopold over in Africa. He killed millions of Africans. But they don't talk about that, but they glorify, and they think they're great. There's the great. The great Alexander, the great. And they were mass murderers. They were thieves. So everywhere they went, they wreaked havoc. But that's where they got their attitude from. So that's why they call them the white devil, because they caught in a primitive state of mind, a lower vibration. So they lost their soul when they went to the mountains and went to the Caucasus Mountain. And now, since they've been released on the planet, they've been wreaking havoc
Joining me
ever
via
since.
Skype, I've
They
got
still are, and they
LanceScurv,
want to
a
hold
blog.
on to it. But see, through all this oppression that we went through this 400 years, the brain has got a strong will to correct itself. So right now, the negative is getting worse instead of better. But you look through all that, the love is shining through all of that. The vibration of love. That's why we're becoming conscious. We're waking up and taking the chains off the brain. And that's the worst kind of slavery it is, the mental part. When you put the chains on the brain, you don't even know you're a slave. You think you're free in there and walking around free, but yet you're complaining. Oh, the white man doing this too. They won't give us this. You waiting on somebody to give it to you. You got to take it. Oh, they sending the stimulus checks. That's all good and stuff. That's just to pacify you. But see, we are bigger than money. They money. We're bigger than their religion. That's why they're trying to hold on to their white supremacy. Now, if they want to hold on to their white supremacy, they need to take their asses back to Europe. That was cut off from that's their part of the world. They became indigenous over there once they mutated from black to white. So their skin, their hair is built for the cold. Ours built for the sun because we are the children of the sun. So one thing about the melanin is so powerful that it turns light and sound energy into food like plants do. The chlorophyll in plants is like the melanin in your body. So it's the same thing. So when we eat the plants, they say you eat the sunshine because the plants make their food out of the sunshine, the light energy from the sun. And so do we. And people don't know that we got to educate each other. African history. I say before we know our American history, do you know your African history? So I taught a lot of guys because I cut hair. And a lot of boys, I've been over, 25 years. And little boys, I've been putting this message into their head. Now they grown up. And you cannot fool them. You see, once you grow up with the truth, you cannot, unless some people will now stray away from it because they figured out they can use people because, hey, I got this knowledge and this wisdom and you don't. So I can use you to do my work for me. So that's why they brainwashed us, took the truth away from them and gave us their laws. And we still submit to them. So when you come with the natural truth to a lot of black people, oh no, Jesus is real. They argue and cuss and fuss, but that's all right because that's part of healing. They got to spit it out. They got to blow it out. Because once you calm down and once you hear the truth, you can't unhear it. Everybody, oh, the book said this, the Bible said this. I said, man, don't tell me what the Bible says. That's their time on this thing. This is our time. What we gonna do? And those characters in the Bible, they never existed. You can't find a grave nowhere, a stone, headstone, anything that they ever existed. But they exist in your imagination. But one thing about it, every time they open up their Bibles, they follow black people, their religious book. Those are black people that's in there. They just took the stories and just manipulated them, plagiarized to make it seem like white man was here first before everybody else. See, so he been trying to play off and playing off our energy for the longest. So it's time for us to take control of our own energy because nature, the universe, and our ancestors is calling us to stand up and take our place. You ain't got to vote for it or nothing. Just let it happen. Just liberate your mind and let that vibration of the truth. And the more we speak the truth, the more people going to hear it. It's going to burn some ears and it's going to comfort some ears. So nature and the universe got a way of healing itself, getting rid of the weak and keeping the strong, only the strong survive. And this time of change, you got to be spiritually strong. Because if you stay on your religion, you're going to miss the boat. You'll never see what's happening because religion is distorting your spirituality. It's distorting your three eyes, your third eye. So Like I tell everybody, you can read the book all you want. People know the stories, but do you know your story? I want to hear your story, your testimony. And once you find out, you're going to find out that those stories in the Bible are you. You living those stories today. So they might have took our history away, but they gave it back to us. It's right there, but you got to read between the lines because everybody in there was black people. So they've been following black people the whole time. So once we take our energy and take control of ourselves and our minds and things, there's nothing they could do to stop it. They could bring their guns, their Bible, a whip, their education, all of that, because that's where they educate you at. One thing about education over in America, they're not educating you to solve your problems. They're educating you to solve their problems. So they sit back and just watch us and let us invent things. I worked at the steel mills in Gary, Indiana, and they had a suggestion box. And if you make a suggestion on improving the steel mill, and they give you $50,000, something like that. So they were buying your ideas. They couldn't figure it out. So when the black people came with ideas, they was getting paid, but they was paying it for, but then they was using it. They patent it off of the black people. But all of the time, they playing on their ignorance. Ignorance is not a bad thing. You just don't know. You just don't know. If we all talk better, we'll do better. We'll see better. But see, one thing about it, you can't change anybody on this planet. Whatever doctor you got, false doctor you got, you could change that. And there's only one truth that'll change that, one universal truth. So once you hear that truth, that's when your own battle begins, that lie and the truth. You might hate the message, but you're not hating the message. You're not hating the message, you're hating the message. That's how powerful the truth is. It's going to shake you up. It's going to scare the hell out of you. Because you don't even know you got the hell in you till somebody tell you. And you ask people, why you so angry? Because they don't even know why they're angry. So when people get angry, they destroy their own self with their own kundalini energy because they're using it and holding on to their energy to destroy somebody, and all the time they're destroying themselves. So your emotions are connected to your endocrine system, your chakras. That's all about emotions, energy and motion. And once that electric current shoot out, that's the energy, that's emotion. So your emotions are connected to your chakra system, your gland system. If you want to have sex, the pituitary gland send a message to the sex gland. If you want to fight, you send it to the adrenaline gland for fight or flight. See, so your emotions control you and guide you through your life. So it's best to be humble instead of be angry. Because you're angry all the time, that energy, that kundalini energy, is going to kill yourself. They never tell you how stress will kill you, but that's how it will kill you. You kill your own self because your heart is working overtime. And one thing about the heart, that universal vibration, that love vibration, that's why they associate Valentine's Day with the big hearts and stuff, because it desires the love, the high. And that's how you get your higher frequency, through love, the true love. So if we teach our children and put the laws of more out on every children and teach them by those laws, every children on this planet, we all get along. Because they say you want to know the truth, listen to the children. You put all children of the world together and they play together. They don't see no color. It's the same because that's the way kids see it. Until somebody teach them different. Then that's when all that false doctrine come in. Then that's when the hate come in. Hate and fear. And most religions, that's what they teach is fear. Because they know fear, I can control them with it. Because if I make them think this is going to happen, they're going to come to me for comfort, for counseling. And all of the time you can counsel and comfort yourself. Because you got to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. And that's the first thing. So when they say get to know thyself, that's why I talk about self. Who is self? They say get to know myself. Don't talk to yourself, but you're supposed to talk to yourself. That's the inner man, your inner thoughts, your inner vibration. So when you pray, you praying to yourself. You praying to that higher self. You can pray to your lower self too, because when you start putting together, you do evil, go out and rob and stuff. So you praying in, but you're going out there because you don't know the way to survive. So guess what? I'm put in this position. I got to rob, steal, kill, and cheat. So I'm in my primitive state of mind. So I'm gonna do what I do to survive, because that's what it's all about, survival. We had to kill, steal, and cheat from each other just to make it. So like they say, iron sharpen iron. So we coming to our higher vibration. So people finding out that because of the 400 years we went through, we had to re-evolve back into the natural law. Our brains had to correct itself. So that make us more powerful than any human being that ever been on this planet. Now all we got to do is tap into our ancestor wisdom, ancestor knowledge that's locked up in our DNA. It's waiting to be fertilized with the truth. And once that God spirit wake up in you, because everybody got it, you're born with it. That's when the real battle going to begin. And once you hear it, like I say, you can't unhear it. So you are the book. We are the book. I'd rather listen to an old man story on a tree than read the Bible because I know it's been manipulated. But I know that man been here a long time in his experience, his life experience, his story. It's going to give me all the wisdom, because how did he get to the age? How did he survive all this chaos that they put us through, all this oppression? And if you listen to them, especially ones in the South and the islands, they use nature. They made their own medicine, birthed their own children. They was breastfeeding their children, doing all of that. But the slave master was making the women at 14 have babies when they weren't mature enough. You're old maid if you don't not married at 14. And no, babies got to still grow up. You're really not supposed to start having babies, especially in the United States, until you're about in your 30s. That's when a lot of people go through that wild phase. Some of them go to jail, but some of them get, might be an accident or something that change their mind and slow them down. And then they go to their inner self, the inner man, and they train themselves to be righteous, to be obedient. So if you got a bad message when you came in this world, you can change it. The spirit of the truth is waiting to be activated. And once you activate it, it's going to wake up, that sleeping giant. Now, can you handle yourself? And this who self is. The positive self, the negative self. They both go hand in hand. But the truth is, it's not selfish. It hurts. It is overused word, because people say, I love you. You can say that all day, but if you show love and give love, that's totally different. It needs to be said too, but it got to be equal. You got to say it, you got to give it, and show it. And you can say I love you, but you don't give the truth and all this anger stuff. You can say that all day. That's not love. You're gonna get hate out of that child. So that's why we got so much chaos with all these people. They hate, but they're religious people. And those are mainly the ones that's called the chaos. All religious, they like to fight and kill because they want to hold on to that. And the rich man want to hold on to his so-called throne. But like I say, the wise man got the power, not the rich man. So the wisdom, our ancestors' wisdom carried us through all this 400 years of oppression. Might not have been conscious of it, but it was always there. So we done lost connection with it, but now it's time to reconnect. That's why I say we had a pivotal time of evolution. And a lot of people don't believe in evolution, but that means they don't have the knowledge. And like I tell everybody, you got to be careful with belief. Sometimes belief, you could believe a lie and you'll think it's the truth. That's why people argue, because you're going against their core belief. Cognitive dissonance. So the brain, our brain's a big computer. It's got to be programmed. You got to make them conscious of the truth, conscious of everything. Because the first thing the children look at when they open their eyes and they start walking, and you take them outside, first thing they look at, they know not to look at the sun long, but they stare at the moon. So they already absorbing the universe. They stare at the stars. They do all of that. They stare at everything. Oh, he knows it. No, that child is soaking up everything. His subconscious mind is storing stuff in there. And that's where hell is, the little subconscious mind. They think it's in the ground and it's a God upstairs, but no, that's all in your conscious self against your unconscious self. That's all it is, the truth and the lie. So once, what they call it, neurogenesis, where your brain fibers can heal itself, your brain can heal itself. Free your mind, the rest will follow. And once you unclog your brain, your health and everything, it'll fall into place. If it's not too far gone, if you're not too sick. See, because the food we eat and the spiritual food is important because you are what you eat. But a lot of people don't know that physical, spiritual food, the religious food is blocking their true spirituality. And that's also food too, the spiritual food. So the spiritual food got to be fed to the child from the mother's womb, the physical and the spiritual. So that's why the women got to be careful what they digest, what they eat, and the way they tongue, where they speak, while they pregnant with the child, because anything positive or negative, bad food or good food, bad message or good message, they're going to absorb it in the subconscious mind. So you don't know why a lot of children walk around angry and on drugs and stuff. A lot of that stuff started right then in the environment. Because they say your environment. So you're in the environment as soon as you become a fetus in the mother's womb. That's your environment. That's your personal life. Environment. So I knew you when I formed you in a sacred place. That's the mother's womb. There's two sacred places in the heaven and the mother's womb. But right now it's not sacred because the white man tampered with our black women. They tampered with the true conscious mind. Took it from a natural state to an unnatural state. So look at all the women around the world, whatever their men tell them, that's what they do. But see, we didn't tell our women to do this. The white man, that's what he came in and put that message in her. So she could tear the image of the black man down and then give him the white image. A white Jesus to worship, all these imaginary friends. So how you going to love somebody you never seen and hate your black father, hate your brother, and you killing him? And we always ask, why we do this? How come we can't get along? See, you're curious. When you ask a question, that means you're on a quest that you don't know. But you need to hear an answer. But once you give the answer to it, a lot of people don't like it because they take up for master. His message. Oh, Mike, you don't vote. You ain't got no voice. You taking up for master. So you don't know that. Walk away from that flock. You better heard to know religion, no church, and no let's say get the word. No, you getting the white man's word in politics and religion because he forced them words on us. Those lies. That's all you're getting, a bunch of lies. So people killing each other over these stimulus checks because, I said, man, holy. But see, all of the time, that's where nature, the universe corrects itself. It get rid of the bad, but it push it to the forefront. So me, myself, I'm a bit a loner. I walk by myself, but I'm not alone. My ancestors, they comfort me, they guide me. My ancestor wisdom. My mother, she used to tell me, the dead speak louder than the living. Like I tell everybody, there's two kinds of dead. The ones that's walking around on the earth and the ones that pass on. The ancestors. So some spiritually dead, spiritually blind. Until they wake them up. Had their heads in the cloud and stuff and wondering, still wondering. This guy came in one day and I was talking to him. He said, "Man, Mr. Mike, you leave people out of here wondering." I said, "No, you was wondering when you came in. When you hear the truth, you don't have to wonder anymore. Now, are you going to use it? That's the key right there. Are you going to use it? Are you going to stay the same?" So, like I said, we're going through a phase, what they call it, Passover or a procession, a eon, end of an old age, beginning of a new age. That's all it is. End of an old eon, beginning of a new eon, age. That's all it means. New world order. So this happened many times before. I say it happened about 11 times before. Because if you look at the zodiac sign, that's what that procession means. Change. Old world, new world. That's why they get the new world order. But these white people, they try to rule the world, and they talking about their new world order. But they can't see what we see. The ones that run the government that's on top of rich and all of that, they can't see what we see. Because their riches and their beliefs and their money are they shackled. And they say the poor man going to have the earth, so the truth always comes up to the top. So once you get to that mountaintop, like King Scott, it's a done deal. That's why we got to change our energy to harmony against each other. Because what kind of effect do they have on the kids, on your children? See, people so caught up in their own emotions, they don't worry about the children. Oh, he hurt me. He did this to me. Oh, my last relationship made me this way. No, you had that baggage before you even met any man. There's baggage too. A lot of them have baggage. I didn't say everybody. Because one that don't have a lot of baggage, they the main ones that stay together. The ones that got a lot of baggage, especially black women, she argue all the time. She can't keep a man. That energy gonna run it away. And now if a man not doing his job and stuff, she gonna run him away. You got to get on that happiness, that love vibration. And it's important. And once we reach that vibration and know our true roles, the father, now we put the right message in all the children's head. And everybody get along, that love message. That message of love, that love vibration. When the child leave home, he'll be able to cope with the world. He'll be in tune with everything, with each other, with the animals, the stars, and everything. That's why you got to take a village, because cannot one or two parents really do it by themselves to teach the child everything they know. That's why the whole village got to come in. You got the, like I said on my other video, you got astrologers, you got doctors, you got all of this, medicine people, you got all that. And a child's supposed to know all of this stuff when they leave home in a true village. But we just stay away from that. You can't say nothing to no our children no more because we so out of order. So we got to be careful and to be safe. We got to wake up out of this deep sleep they put us in, so we could put everything in order. And melanin, the frequency. And one thing about frequencies, I know, we done strayed so far away from the laws, we based on personal desires and needs instead of love vibration and loving each other. In the human mind, it often creates problems that don't even exist. People will conjure up things out of nowhere just because they want to be right, and they be wrong all of the time. And those are the ones that be the first ones to get mad because they're wrong, but they think you wrong and they right. They let you know they can distinguish what's right and what's wrong. And intelligence, this must be defined by the terms of the problems which we solve our problems, the greeds and stuff that which we solve our problems. The education, like I said earlier, the education today help us solve other people's problems. So we got to re-educate, uneducate, and then re-educate. And once we re-educate and feed the African knowledge and African spirit, they're going to automatically wake up. So if you need a book to teach somebody about their true nature, then you still lost. Because even in the Bible, say Isaiah and Revolution say nobody gonna need no book when the truth comes. So that lets you know it's already written in you. See, they've been fasting long enough. They the spiritual food that they need. That's the quote from Isaiah. And one thing about it, I ask everybody, do you know anything about it? No. Well, you read the Bible and stuff, but if you read it right, and if you know the truth, you'll see that's the book on the stomach. First, like Genesis, you got genes and Isis. So you got Genesis, and that lets you know it's talking about the black woman, how she was made, and everything was dark. Everybody spoke the same language. That means everybody was in order. And that's what that book is talking about at the beginning, but they manipulated, put Adam and Eve in there and made her laugh when she, and they give to you, the oldest bones on the planet is a black woman in Africa. But you still hooked on that story that they gave you about Adam and Eve, this white Adam and Eve. Man, a woman came from man's rib. That don't make no sense. It's not common sense. And people quick to say common sense and take. Well, your common sense has been distorted. You use the nonsense. You think the nonsense is real. But all it is an illusion. Hypnosis. People walk around hypnotized. Illusion. Don't even know it. If money wasn't grow on trees, if it was for everybody. No, it's for the rich man. The poor man, if it weren't for the poor man, the rich man wouldn't be rich. So you take the money away and all of that, who gonna survive? The poor man, the ones that talk, because he still know how to make his own medicine, till the soil, grow his own. He's still in tune with nature, his true natural. See, so your education, you've been educated by the white man, by your oppressor. That's why we solve their problems, because they can't solve their own problems. They can't tell you why the way the state of mind that they in, because they want to keep it that way. They can't tell you that. But we can. Because once we become conscious and everybody liberate, we make everybody. So it's a time of separation, good and evil. And it's nothing they could do to it out of it to me. You know. You spend your life in this world ignorant. And if you leave the word ignorant, that's on you. And like I say, your temple, the king and queen's chamber, that's why they call it a temple. And you got your left brain and your right brain. That's feminine and masculine. And that's the king and queen's chamber. That's why they talk about your brain. And the God gland, the pineal gland is right in the center of all of that. So when they say God, how come they don't say the black woman? And together you're not complete whole without each other, because your children's brain development depends on it. You need both sides to work in sync. So the pineal gland is mother and father working in sync. The God gland, they had a connection. They won't be wondering. They have it already. They won't be seeking. They have it when they leave home. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, we at that pivotal point, and people are waking up around the world every day. Not just us. It's a lot of white people, Asian people, everybody. And, but it's, like I said, it's different from when they come from us. Because our voices, once we come, and we're going to shake the world. What's the black national anthem? Lift every voice and sing to earth and heaven and rain. Yeah. That's a high vibration. It's going to put everything in order. The weather, the people. We're going to reconnect back to that love vibration of the universe. But see, this is the first time this happened. Because of evolution, like I said before, the truth is in the dirt. Even the earth had to evolve. It's still evolving. But it's at its higher frequency now. It's growing, put it that way. So now, since everybody been distributed around the world and the earth and what things changed, and we went through evolution, now it's time to come back to the law because the original fallen angels are the ones that fell from the laws of Moat, the universal law. And that's when things started getting out of hand. So we the first ones. So that's why Egypt fell. They was outside the law. That's why Rome fell. They was outside the law. China, they fell before. They was outside the law. Everybody's outside the law because they want to do it my way instead of the universal way. Because I'm smarter than them and they dumb, the country people. And that's how all this stuff got started. People in the city, they were advancing while the people out in the country, they were at a standstill. Yeah, but that's a lie. They knew her nature. They knew how to survive off the land. They're surviving off the land is the land. But he the one that took the land and fell it back to us. When we inherited from the beginning. When we left Africa, we inherited the whole planet. So we gonna re-inherit the whole planet. Not just the meek and the humble. Not just the black people. We just put here to share this planet. The sun is for everybody. The moon is for everybody. And that's what creates weather, nature. That's what creates life, the sun and the moon. So it creates precipitation. The water is for everybody. The earth is for everybody. So who put a price tag on things that's natural? Who put a price tag on being born and dying? That's where white supremacy came in. You shouldn't have to pay to come in this world and lead this world. That's something that's natural. It's going to happen. But like I say, they're making money off our energy. Off of their own people's energy. We had midwives doing slavery and stuff. You might have gave them some eggs or something, but if it's in your family, it was free. So true freedom is freedom of the mind, and everything on the planet is free because the animals, they don't have to pay for anything. As long as the man don't mess with it, they go by their laws. The natural laws. And we got the same instincts they got. If you mess with a lion's family, he's going to protect his family. We will too. But every animal on this planet got a special gift, a special power that they possess. Just like we got it. We got superpowers also. We just happen to have a full of melanin, and that make us more super than everybody else. I hate to say we superior, but it's the truth. Our brains, our body structure, our hair, everything, and tell you who you are, the color of your skin, and where you come from. You come from the heat, from the sun. You children of the sun. 666, melanin, carbon. The whole universe is built off of atoms. So we built from the universe. That's our original home. That's why we had that connection that everybody else don't have. We pick up vibration, that telepathy, and all of that. You don't even know it. And they talk about the devil show up. No, we got a communication system. Just like elephants with their feet. through vibration through the ground. And but they could pick it up in their feet, and so can we. We could pick up their energy also, coming from the earth. As below, it's coming from below. As above, it's coming from above also. Your hair and your skin pick up that energy from above. But your chakra system, the root chakra, you pick up all the vibration and the energy from the earth. Keep you, what they say, keep you grounded. Keep you grounded. So I look at people's attitudes and everything, and their brains, like I said, they scattered all over the place, and they don't know why. Nobody have a solution. So that's what we are the solution. And the only, and I always say this, the only weapon they got against us or anybody else is keeping you from the knowledge of your true nature from you. That's the only weapon. And once you get to know yourself, you get to know your true nature. And then you become unstoppable. Can't nobody tell you what you can and can't do. Energy and the way you talk and what come out your mouth. It will force the evil people to flee. They might call you the devil and say you evil, but all the time, why you running? Nah, you could take that with you because you go hide up on the rock. You can't hide from the kingdom. Once you hear the words of the kingdom, you cannot hide from it. And when that truth comes, I see a lot of people that kill themselves. And they will because they can't face reality. That's why I said earlier, people walk around on misdirected eyes. They see illusions and stuff, thinking things are real. But what's real is nature dictate our life every day. When it rains and storms, you ever wonder if it never rained? If the sun didn't shine? Or the moon didn't shine? Did you ever wonder? There would be no life. So we got to re-examine our own self, our roles as parents, and roles as husbands and wives, spouses, and start putting the right message in our children. Then you see the world turn around, and you see the jail, like I said before, you see the jailhouses come down, all this dysfunction. Because I had to tell my family, I got to fall away from my cousin, from my family, because it was dysfunctional. But I had to learn. I had to leave my family to find my inner self, my true self. And once I found it, I knew who I was. It took a while. I had to bump my head and everything. But that's why I know people could change, because I changed. I also knew I had a battle within. And it was my personal battle. It wasn't nobody else's. I didn't blame nobody else for my battle. And that battle was, it was a bunch of lies that my brothers and sisters told me. Like, I had nappy hair. I wasn't going to be nothing. I'm going to be like sorry daddy. Things like that, negative stuff. That's why I had to leave to find myself and my true self. And once I woke up and found my true self, I had to tell them about this stuff. You see, I had to put the family in order. They didn't know it at first, but I had to tell them about themselves. I was talking about me last time, and y'all would face y'all negative self. And they couldn't handle it at first, but then they submitted to it. So I was showing them love, and they thought I was hating at first, but all the time. Now, y'all said I was going to grow up and be sorry, but this is what I amounted to. Because I wouldn't accept that. That's why I had to leave home. I wouldn't believe that because I knew it wasn't nothing wrong with me, but that was them. But that's that Willie Lynch slave mentality they had. And they say, why can't black families get along? That's the reason why. Because if my mother and father was in their right state of mind, they knew how to stop all of that. Because one thing about children, they could be, and siblings, they could be cruel to each other. That's why you got to protect your children from all that negative energy, that bad energy. Keep it away from them. Oh, I'm going to beat the hell out of them, man. And that's the first thing come out of black people's mouths when dealing with their children, their wife, or their husband. I'm going to whoop. I'm going to whoop. I'm going to whoop. You see, that whooping ain't doing nothing but making the children, provoking them to anger. That's a slave whip. Like the slave master beat the message in. You think you're going to beat that message into the children? No, it don't take all of that. They're naturally conform to what's already in their heart if you teach them the right way. They teach them the right way. They're naturally conform to what's already in their heart. And that's not. And so you can raise a child of the devil. And it's a humbling way that you can raise a child. Don't take all that beating and all that stuff. They're child abuse. I got it when I was a little boy, too, extension cord, but I didn't do my children like that because I knew it wasn't necessary. I kind of broke the chains myself because my brothers and sisters I grew up with, they were children. And I saw what they did right and I saw what they did wrong. So inadvertently, they gave me a lot of wisdom. So when I left home, I was equipped, but I didn't know it at first. I had to go through some changes. I had to live. So that's how I know if you plant the right seeds in the children, they won't have to go through that struggle with themselves. They won't have to fight themselves. They'll know their true self. See, we got to re-examine our roles and everything, and re-examine the American history because it's false history. It's not our history. We got to examine our African history. And that's the only way you're going to wake up because that's your true history. China got its history. They teach their children their history. Europe got their history. They teach their children their false history. Everybody teach their history except for us. We ran on somebody else to teach us our history. But we got to teach our own children our history, the African part. Because we still African. I don't care where you at on this planet, you still African. Even the white people, they still African. And that's where everybody started, from Africa. So Mother Africa is calling on us the vibrations from Mother Africa is calling on us to wake up, the whole world. The vibration is coming out of Africa. Because that's where everything originated from. It's the capital of the world, all planets. All continents. It's Africa. The motherland. That's why they called it the motherland. We gave birth to everybody, a black woman, everybody on this planet. That's why I say she's the key. And once you start giving the laws of Mawat, that love vibration, and that's when you're gonna see everything change. Everything gonna line up. The electromagnetic energy we send into the universe is gonna blend in with all the electromagnetic energy from the earth and the heavens. It's gonna blend in. It's gonna flow through your body evenly. Your chakra system, and the so-called devil in you, you be that energy, that primitive energy. You be able to restrain it. You be humble. You know how to release it when you have to, and that's protect yourself, protect your family. Like I say, it's for fight or flight. And that's a Kundalini energy. That's what it's there for. It's energy. So once you control your emotions, come master your emotions, you become impeccable. People would say something about you, it won't even faze you. Because hurting people try to hurt people. So, like I say, we got that crab mentality. A lot of people bring you down, but like I say, I cut away from that herd a long time ago. I stay away from the negative, and I keep the positive. And once you get in that higher vibration, that happy medium, your heart and your brain will send out that energy, and you have a attraction. You attract people to you. Good or bad, they still gonna come to you. Because you're sending out telepathy, that true telepathy. And people could feel it. Even babies could feel it. And that's what we got to get. we got to get back to that frequency. It's energy, that black energy. And like they say, Black Lives Matter. That matters because black families matter because we the vanguards of the New World Order and always have been. We the leaders of the world because we was here first. That's why it matters because all other people come from the black lives, the melanated lives, the melanated people. That's why it matters because we got to lead the world back to the righteous state of mind. And that's it. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And like I tell everybody, can't nobody on this planet prove me wrong. They can bring their scientists, all of the experts and everything, because some of them don't even know it. Most of them don't. And if they do, they're not going to tell you. They're going to keep manipulating your mind. I said, man, y'all been going to church your whole life, and they've been preaching and teaching the same thing for over 300 years. and say, and you still the same, and you haven't changed. Look at their neighborhoods and look at our neighborhood. It'll show you something. In the churches, they do worship. Their churches look better than ours. We go and get a garage and make a church out of it. Oh, getting God's word. No, God's word is coming from that man in the house. He the God. He the one supposed to be making sure the word is given to his children. and the black man and black woman, they are God. So if they're on the same chord and they're giving their child the right message, hey, that's it. Back to the original way. The true village. Everybody's child is everybody's child. Everybody look out for everybody's child. That's why you hear a lot of people call the older guys old school and stuff. They still got that submissive attitude to the older people. But they don't even know it. We still got those chains on the brain, but we gonna break those. And once they come out, then we have respect for the elders. We won't be sending our parents to the old folks' home because you throwing away the wisdom. You messing up the family order. Because the older people there for counseling, because they've been down that road. So how you gonna put them in a old folks' home and they can't communicate with you? You just throw them away. But that's not the African way. That wasn't the slave way neither. You kept your grandparents there because that's where you get the wisdom. And by the way, when the older people back in slavery days, we still in those days too, but back when they had the chains on the feet and it domesticated them. I lost my train of thought. Back in the day when they had the chains on their feet, on their brains, when they took them off the feet, they put them on the brain. And just like Roots, it's just like me, you start telling them the truth, they take up and defend the white man's ways and his message. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You got the vote, right? You got no voice. I said, okay, I have a voice. That's why I broke away from the herd a long time ago, because if you follow man, you're not going to get anywhere, especially if you follow the white man. See, he's not the leader of this world. He's the newcomer. And like I said, we got misdirected eyes, and the truth is right in front of them, but you deaf, dumb, and blind, and you cannot see it. And it's right there. The television, just look at the TVs, how everything is fading to black. The game show hosts, the commercials, they use black music to sell their products. Black people men with deep voices to sell their products. You even look at the politics. Now we taking over that too. See, they might be trying to go by man's law and that white man's law, but eventually it's gonna turn around. So we taking over. We rising to the top. We becoming first every day in a whole lot of things. And there's nothing they could do to stop it. They don't have no weapon. They could. If they pull out a weapon, they're gonna kill themselves. It's just that simple. See, they talked about kill Martin Luther King and kill Malcolm X, but you can't kill the truth. Kill the message. But see, the thing about it, the best way to teach is to sing and dance to it. So our soul music. See, they talk about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, the Impressions, Temptations, all of them. All of them. In the 60s and the 70s, soul music. They were singing about our true nature. They were singing about that love vibration. That's why it felt so good. But we've been delivering the message of the truth around the world. And we might not be conscious of it, but their ancestors' wisdom is coming through the message in the music. See, those who have ears, let them hear. Only my chosen people will hear my voice. And that's the voice of the truth. That's the voice they're talking about. So that vibration of the truth is so powerful, it's going to shake the world into order. And religion and the politics, they're coming down. In less than 50 years, it might be politics, but it's going to be order. It's going to be for everybody. Because family is built off of politics also. It's a hierarchy. The father, the mother, the children, the village. But I'm not talking about their politics. It's just for them. And they got, I think that's in Genesis. They say everywhere they take, you're going to see Egypt. And Egypt is written all over the United States. It's right there in front of the Confederate flag, American flag, the oblate in D.C. D.C. is built off of Egypt. Everything is built off of Egypt. But like I said before, you can't just concentrate on Egypt. There was other empires around Africa. It wasn't just Egypt. This just happened to be the one that's close to the Med, and they could come over and conquer. Was Egypt. Alexander the Great, that was the first invasion of Africa. It's from them, the Greeks. Then the Romans. They took turns. But see, the Greco-Romans, they came in, they would fight each other first, but then they came together, and that's how they came up with all this Jesus crap and all this Jesus Christoph. That's the way you really pronounce it. Say Jesus, but everybody else's name is spelled the same way, and it's Jesus, Jose. The J got an H sound in it, so Ray come with the J and put Jesus. Imaginary friend. Jehovah, imaginary friend. Say, who's God's name? It's you. Whatever your name is, that's who God is. Well, who is the devil? It's you. If you're a devil light, that's you. That's two sides of man, it's energy. So, like I say, everybody, what you're looking for, you already possess. It's already written in you. Study your own book, your own stuff, your own nature, your own story, your own path. Because everybody got a story to tell, and who can tell your story better than you? And then once you wake up, you're going to find out the story is in that book all the time. It's nothing new under the sun, like they say. The sun has seen many millions of years and ages, but it's still there. So that's the higher power in the sky, is the sun. It's the universe. Because the sun feed off the universe just like your heart. It's connected. And your brain. But right now, it's a lot of people's brains are not connected to their energy. There's a lot of righteous people thinking around self-righteous, think they, oh, I got this, I got cars, I got this, and I'm living large, I done made it. Especially when black people come from the projects, make it to Hollywood, or make it big and music. Oh, I made it. Yeah. They made it because they let you. As long as you keep quiet and do what they tell you to do, you get paid good. But you can't talk with the way we talk. You can't make people conscious. Like, look what they did to Kaepernick. And now everybody following Kaepernick. He was real heavy. He was letting everybody know, but now everybody want to jump on his wagon. Now, he was against it at first, but now everybody want to jump on the wagon. But we need somebody to set it off because I'm ready to jump into that fire. And that fire is hot. You got people want to kill each other everywhere around the planet. Everybody killing each other because they want caught up in their emotions. When you caught up in your own selfish emotion, that's what you're going to do, try to destroy. Because you think somebody, you live in this fear, you think somebody trying to take something away from you. And you're born with two main emotions, that's love and fear. All the rest of them come from that. I think it's about 12 or 13 that come from that. What they say, the deadly sin, gluttony, anger, what else? I can't think. I remember all of them right now. But anyway, they say it'll kill you, and it will. Because that negative energy is building up in you. And it's affecting your heart. So if you walk around angry all the time, your immune system, it'll be broke down. And that's where disease come in. Disease. Your body is not at ease. It's fighting because it's not comfortable, because you're using your own energy against your own self, and that's stress. You're stressing yourself out. Whole stress will kill you, but they never explain how to kill you. And it's all your heart, your emotions. I gotta say, emotions make you cry sometimes. Emotions make you lie sometimes. And a lot of people caught up in their feelings, and it's grown children, they start to cry when they don't get their way. I say if we teach our children better, they do better. A child not responsible, they blame everything. Children out of order. I say, no, it's the parents. People got mad at me one day. I was at this conference, and they were talking about how bad the children are. And I just told them, I say, it's not the children, it's the parents. Oh, everybody went off on me. And I asked everybody, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But see, they didn't know better until I told them. And then when I saw them the next time, I said, Mr. Mike, you know you're right. I said, yeah, I know I'm right. Children ain't responsible for raising themselves. They don't choose their parents. Now, the parents don't know, they're going to do the best they can if they try. So my mother, our parents, they did the best they could. There might have been some lies in there that they've been taught, but it's up to each generation to get smart and wise and break those cycles and come back with the truth. So they can start teaching their children and they grow up with it. Then guess what? Hey, it's a done deal. So that's the real black power, is the melanin. It comes from inside, not the outside, the dark world, the underworld. That's your inner world, your inner self. Your outer self. That's the physical world. The dark world. With your pineal gland, the true world. Then you'll be in sync. And like I tell everybody, that's when they come to all seeing eye, the third eye. All three of them put together. The pair of eyes that you see the physical world with, and the spiritual eye that you see the spiritual world with. The first eye.
Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition, stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion? Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we're living, for us there's nothing but hell, pain, torture, and misgiving. Yet the Bible speaks of a heaven filled with material luxury, which the white man and the preacher has right here, so we see. So, my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth. So let's check back into history, which rewards all research and tells us plainly that before the white man gained entry to the East, he was living in the caves of Europe, a ravenous beast, eating juniper roots and eating flesh raw, till God sent Moses to civilize him and teach him the law. Then, following Marco Polo, an explorer, he gained entry into Asia and Africa. From China, he took silk and gunpowder. From India, he took jute, manganese, and rubber. He raped Africa of her diamonds and her gold. From the Mideast, he took barrels of oil untold, raping, robbing, and murdering everything in his path. The whole black world has tasted of the white man's wrath. So, my friend, it's not hard to tell. A white man's heaven is a black man's hell. Before we came to America, we were living in the East. By the Nile River, we were living in luxury, enjoying freedom, justice, and equality. We wore silken robes and slippers of gold. We were the wealthiest and the wisest people, I'm told. Now we are the poorest of the poor. Nobody wants us at their door. So, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is black man hell. When the white man came to America, he told the Indian, I am your white brother. He said, red man, I'll treat you the best. Yet and still he pushed the Indian further west with his white woman and firewater. Tricks and lies, he stole America. The original owner of this nation is cooped up on a reservation. So, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven, black man hell. He needed someone to work the land. His back was too weak. He needed you, black man, so he commissioned Sir John Hawkins to commit the world's most grievous sin, to take a man who's born to be free and bring him down to slavery, to sell a man as merchandise, on his body put a price. Oh, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is a black man hell.